Have you ever wondered how YouTubers like Marques Brownlee, Mr. Who's the Boss, Mr. Beast are able to speak so freely and confidently on camera while you might feel it's a little weird speaking to an object? Well, the answer isn't natural born talent. In fact, here are the first clips of some of the world's greatest YouTubers.
Alright, welcome to my first video. Bought a new laptop and it's an HP Pavilion DV7T, so of course I got the media center remote with it. Quite a nice remote.
Okay, hi YouTube, Mr. Who's the Boss here, and in this video we're going to be comparing Sony's PlayStation Vita with Nintendo's Game Boy Color.
And through a series of learnable and deliberate techniques, they've transformed themselves into camera-speaking superstars. And I desperately needed this particular framework because this was me initially.
But they're probably not progressing that much. And most likely the reason is that they don't have a specific or proper feedback mechanism in place. That's why every Toastmasters meeting has a section called the evaluation round, which is meant to give feedback to all the speakers.
If you look at my face there, it feels like I'm being forced to speak. And this is despite knowing communication techniques. So I can only imagine how difficult it can be for somebody who is naturally shy, introverted, and does not have any background in communications trying to speak on camera. It took me creating hundreds of videos to understand this, and it's something that I'm obviously still learning. And after hours of studying the top YouTubers and how they deliver content so effectively, we've broken down a simple framework that anybody looking to start their content creation journey, or has a lot of virtual meetings on Zoom or Teams, or is already making videos and just wants to level up their game, can simply put into practice to be a little bit more effective in their content delivery. So in this video, we're going to break down the MDC framework to understand how you can speak on camera a little more freely, a little more authentically, and a little more effectively. The best part is once you understand these techniques that the top YouTubers tend to utilize, it'll not only help you speak effectively on camera, but help improve your communication overall to become a little less awkward and a little more natural. Let's get started. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Radeep from Frantically Speaking. We release communications content like this all the time. So if you're into this, hit subscribe. And if you want to take your communications journey to the next level, you can book a free consultation call with us. We can talk and see if we can work together. Now, the MDC framework is broken up into mindset, content, and delivery. On the surface, it's quite self-explanatory, but let's get deeper into it and make it a little more actionable. Starting off with mindset, in my opinion, the most important element of speaking in front of a camera. And one technique that really helped me out is the neighbor effect. This is something I learned from Income School, which is a very underrated channel on YouTube that focuses on helping people create money online. The premise of this technique is that we feel very natural talking to a friend because our mind is used to having somebody give us feedback, having somebody respond to us, and that automatically feels a lot more natural. But speaking to an inanimate object like a camera can not feel that way. So the neighbor effect says that when you're talking, and especially if you're talking about something educational or informative, don't think of it as making a video. Instead, think of it as your neighbor who's come to your house and is simply asking you a question on something that you're a little better at than him. And that's ideally how we want our mindset to be while we're talking on camera. And this mindset shift really helped me to become a lot more comfortable with the camera. In fact, in the earlier stages, what you can do is behind the camera, you can have somebody stand, somebody who you like, know, and trust to give you that real-time human feedback as you keep on talking. In fact, one of the most upcoming podcasters, which is a guy called Amin Jaz, who runs a podcast called Untriggered, in his early days did that. He would have his brother stand behind the camera and he would just talk and crack jokes. So at least he would have some human feedback coming in, which would make the entire thing seem a lot more natural. But what's important to understand is that feeling of naturalness will only come when we repeatedly speak on camera. A lot of us tend to think that we have to have a lot of high energy while speaking, but that's not the case. If you look at the two biggest tech YouTubers, Marques Brownlee and Mr. Who's the Boss, even though they're in the same space, they have vastly different styles of communicating. Marques Brownlee is a lot calmer and relaxed, whereas Mr. Who's the Boss is a lot more energetic. Neither style is right or wrong, but what we need to remember is the more we speak out on camera, our aim should be to remove our authentic personality out more and more. So if being highly energetic is feeling natural to us, we should do that. If just talking normally like this feels more natural, this is the direction we should aim for. In the beginning, no matter what we do, we will feel awkward, but the more we pursue our natural style of speaking, the comfort of speaking in front of a camera will come a lot faster. Now, after you have the mindset down, we need to then move on to the delivery. Communications is not only about what you say, but how you say it. And delivery is the area that a lot of us tend to struggle with, because when we're speaking on camera, we generally know the content. We might even be experts in the things that we're talking on. But the reason that awkwardness and cringe comes out is because of our delivery. In fact, if you take this initial clip from Mr. Who's the Boss.
Okay, hi YouTube, Mr. Who's the Boss here.
If you look at this video, what feels a little weird about it? Of course, what he's saying must all be relevant. But when he's speaking, if you notice the area around his eyes, that's where the biggest hit is being taken. When we don't move our eyes while speaking, we automatically come across as a lot more robotic. So if you're having a natural conversation, would you be talking like this all the time? Or would you naturally move your eyes down, up, and so on? This technique is known as eye variation, and it's one of the fundamental things that helps somebody come across as a lot more natural while speaking on camera. So if you compare the Mr. Who's the Boss video from the initial ones to now, notice one of the main things that makes him come across as a lot more confident is the eye movement itself. And along with that, there's a lot more subtle aspect which we tend to forget about. And it's something that you and I do every day, hopefully, but we don't really apply while communicating in a pressured environment. And that is to simply smile. Smiling while talking in front of a camera is one of the easiest ways to make your delivery come across as a lot more friendly and approachable. And even though it's very simple to understand this point, it's one of the things that I had the hardest time with. If you look at all the earlier videos I had, there was barely any smiling, which made it feel that someone is holding a gun to my head while speaking on camera. So it took a lot of conscious reminding, where if I would have certain points down on a YouTube video, on top I would write the word smile, so that I would remember that, okay, I have to start the video by smiling. I should smile and sprinkle them in throughout the video as well. A good way to understand if you're not smiling is to do exactly what I just told you. Take a video, watch it, even though it might feel a little cringe. And the more we watch it and the more we hate it, the more we'll remember to smile the next time. One more thing to keep in mind when you're watching this video is to notice your hand movements. You don't want to move your hands excessively and all the time while talking, as it can come across as distracting. Neither do we want to be completely stiff with our gesticulation. Instead, what I've noticed helps a lot of our clients who are tending to start their content creation journey is to start by sitting down and speaking with a table in front of them. So right now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a table in front of me. This makes it feel a lot more natural to speak. It feels like I'm either in a meeting room or I'm having dinner with a friend and just talking accordingly. It helps the hand movements come across as a lot more natural as well. Instead of me standing, now it comes across as a little weird and vulnerable. I might not know what to do with my hand. And until you become comfortable to stand and speak, sit and do it itself. It's a much easier way to start. So once we understand mindset and delivery, we move on to the C, which is content. Now, content will differ, of course, depending on the topics you're speaking on. But one thing to keep in mind is don't script your videos out completely. There'll be a lot more pressure to memorize things and makes the entire process of creating a video a lot more cumbersome. Instead, what I like to do is just script out word for word my initial line so that I can start off in a perfect flow, and then I just have the bullet points written down so I can freestyle along with it. Throughout the script, try to sprinkle it in with personal experiences or stories of other people that you already know of. This reduces the pressure in the mind to remember things and can help a video come across as a lot more natural. But if you feel that you're on camera and you just keep blanking out while speaking again and again, we need to understand framework-based thinking. It's a technique that helps us organize our mind and thoughts so that the words can come out in a flow regardless of what topic you're speaking on. There's a bunch of different frameworks that you can check out. In fact, we've created an amazing in-depth video on this topic itself with relevant examples. I recommend you check out that video right after this, right here. I'll see you in a second.